Good morning, friends. Today we'll have a short introductory talk on Julie Kristeva as a feminist theorist. Julie Kristeva, born Yulia Stoyanova Kristeva, Bulgarian, was a Bulgarian and French philosopher, literary critic, semiotician, psychoanalyst, feminist, and most recently novelist who has lived in France since in the mid 60s. Born in Sloven, Bulgaria, to Christian parents, Kristeva is the daughter of a French accountant. Kristeva and her sister attended a Francophone school run by the Dominic nuns. Kristeva became acquainted with the work of Michael Bakhtin. At this time in Bulgaria, Kristeva went on to study at the University of Sofia, and while a postgraduate there obtained a research fellowship that enabled her to move to France in December 1965 when she was 24. She continued her education at several French universities, studying under Lucien Goldman and Roland Barthes, among other scholars. On August 2nd, 1967, she married the novelist Philippe Solis, born Philippe Joyaux. Kristeva taught at the University of Columbia in early 1970s and remains a visiting professor. She has also published under the married name Julia Joyaux. After joining the Tel El Kul group founded by Solis, Kristeva focused on the politics of language and became an active member of the group. She trained in psychoanalysis and earned her degree in 1979. In some ways, her work can be seen as trying to adapt a psychoanalytic approach to the post-structuralist criticism. For example, her view of the subject and its construction shares similarities with Sigmund Freud and Lacan. However, Kristeva rejects any understanding of the subject in a structuralist sense. Instead, she favors the subject always in process or in trial. In this way, she contributes to the post-structuralist critique of essentialized structures whilst preserving the teachings of psychoanalysis. He traveled to China in 1970s and later wrote about Chinese women, which was published in 1977. One of the most important contributions is that signification is composed of two elements, the symbolic and the semiotic, the latter being distinct from the discipline of semiotics founded by Ferdinand de Saussure, as explained by Augustine Perumeliel. Kristeva's semiotic is loosely related to the infantile pre-audible referred to in the works of Wright, Otto Rank, and Melanie Klein, British object relation, psychoanalysis, and Lacan, pre-mirror stage. It's an emotional field tied to the instinct which dwells in the fissures and parody of language rather than in denotative meaning of words. Furthermore, according to Bridget Schiffers, the semiotic is a realm associated with the musical, the poetic, the rhythmic, and that which lacks structure and meaning. It's closely tied to the feminine and represents the undifferentiated state of the pre-mirror stage infant. Upon entering the mirror stage, the child learns to distinguish between the self and the other and enters the realm of shared cultural meaning known as symbolic. In her famous essay, Desire in Language, published in 1918, Kristeva described the symbolic as the space in which the development of language allows the child to become a speaking subject and to develop a sense of identity separate from that of mothers. The process of separation is known as abjection, whereby the child must reject and move away from the mother in order to enter into the world of language, culture, meaning, and social. This realm of language is called a symbolic and is constructed with the semiotic in that it is associated with the masculine, the law, and structure. Kristeva departs from Lacan in idea that even from the entering symbolic, the subject continues to oscillate between the semiotic and the symbolic. Therefore, rather than arriving at a fixed identity, the subject is permanently in process. Because female children continue to identify to some degree with a mother figure, they are especially likely to retain a close connection to the semiotic. This continued identification with the mother may result in what Kristeva refers to in The Black Sun 1989 as a melancholia, depression, given that female children simultaneously reject and identify with a mother figure. It has also been suggested that the degradation of women and women's bodies in popular culture emerges because of the threat to identify that mother's body poses. It's a reminder of one time spent in the undifferentiated state of the semiotic, where one has no concept of self or identity. After abjecting the mother, subjects retain an unconscious fascination with the semiotic, desiring to relate with the mother, while at the same time fearing the loss of identity that accompanies it. Slasher films thus provide a way for audience members to safely reenact a process of abjection by vicariously expelling and destroying the mother figure. Kristeva is also known for her adaptation of Plato's idea of the Kora, meaning the nourishing maternal space. Kristeva's idea of the Kora has been interpreted in several ways as a reference to the uterus, as a metaphor for the relationship between the mother and the child, and as the temporal period between preceding the mirror stage. In her essay Motherhood, according to Giovanni Bellini from Desire in Language 1980, Kristeva refers to the Kora as a non-expressive totality formed by drives and their stasis in a motility that's full of movement as it is regulated. She goes on to suggest that it is a mother's body that mediates between the Kora and the symbolic realm. The mother has access to culture and meaning. It also forms a totalizing bond with the child. Kristeva is also noted for her work on the concept of intersexuality. Kristeva has been regarded as a key proponent of French feminism. Together with Samantha Bauer, Hélène Cixous, and Lucy Irigaray, Kristeva has had a remarkable influence on the feminism and feminist literary studies in the US and UK, as well as in reading on in the contemporary art. Although relation to feminist circles and movements in France has been